cuts, are they really on the horizon? Joining me now is Prime Minister John Key. John, good morning.
Morning, Paulie.
How are you? Have you had a good weekend?
Oh, great weekend, actually. Yeah, busy.
Oh, me too.
Busy, but good, yeah.
Oh, God.
What are you doing?
I've been bogged down with these bloody birds.
Really? What have you done to them?
I don't know. I'm choosing because it's bird of the year.
Right.
Have you got a bird in mind that you'd go for?
Well,
actually, you should keep it quiet. You should actually keep it quiet. No.
Take.
Yeah, you should keep it quiet. You know how people don't like it when you suggest things? Oh, who does he think he is suggesting? It was like that whole flag debacle.
Well,
we
I
won't go
suggested
there.
those deer hunters that they don't shoot them on the ground.
That was a mistake.
Here's a clue. One can fly.
Well, it's your outfit, though, isn't it? So the deer hunters should go and they should shout and scream, and the ones that don't fly are the ones you don't kill.
That's right.
Right, let's talk tax cuts. Are they really on the horizon?
Possibly. I mean, look, obviously there are lots of demands on the government's resources. I mean, it's great that we're back in surplus. It shows the economy is performing really well, and
absolutely.
I actually think it shows that the government's plan, along with the work of millions of New Zealanders, is working, because not many countries are back in surplus. Gives you choices. Of course,
that much we're completely agreed on. It's fantastic that we're back in surplus, and the surpluses are growing. They're going in the right way.
And so that's the point, isn't it?
But we can't look at tax cuts, can we? Because let's just take Auckland for a start. You are on the cusp of okaying tolling of state highway in Auckland so that people can get it, because there's no money for infrastructure. Surely there's no money for tax cuts.
Probably a reasonable way away, but and that's a different issue, really about the debate of in the future how you might pay for things. But no, you're absolutely right. I mean, but we've been actually a very big infrastructure government. I mean, despite the fact that there's been tough times, everything from Transpower's massive upgrade to what we've done on roading and public transport and CRL, all these things. But the point here is that, look, all things being equal, we keep doing things well and the world doesn't melt down, those surpluses are going to keep growing. Now, I agree, in day one people will say, well, we want a bit more money for the social service or more police or whatever it might be we can talk about. But the real issue is, as it continues to grow and as people get a little bit of bracket creep, so they'll get forced into higher brackets and the likes, people do start saying, well, I do get up really hard in the morning and I work really hard, and returning a bit of my money to me, just, helping me get ahead, it's no bad thing.
And that is reasonable, but I think at the moment, I just thought it was premature for the Finance Minister to stay, and presumably he talked to you about it beforehand, because he wouldn't say something like this off his own bat. And I just think it's premature because there are so many demands on money right at the moment.
There are, and that includes potentially paying down debt, although debt to GDP is falling. I mean, it's quite low. It's 24.5% and on its way down.
But, it's International Day for the Eradication of Poverty, and your government has identified this as something that it wants to tackle.
And we've done a lot.
You've got money to do it.
We've done a lot in that area. I mean, you think when we weren't in surplus, we raised, might have been that year, actually, we're very close, but we raised benefits for the first time in 43 years.
Absolutely, and everyone's credited you with that. But, I mean, it's a small amount of money which for most people has disintegrated as a result of housing costs. Yeah,
and that's a fair point, that we have to potentially put more into housing. Look, in every area, and it won't matter what area you pick, someone that has a particular interest in that area will say that's the top priority, and we understand all of that.
But do you get the feeling like I do, that actually there isn't the huge clamour for tax cuts now that there has been in the past?
Okay, it's not where it was. I agree. It's not where it was, say, in 2005 and 6 and 7 and 8. And the reason for that was Australia had gone through a decade of cutting taxes under John Howard. New Zealand had the potential surpluses to do that and didn't do it. And Michael Cullen and Helen Clark went on a sort of spending spree, much of which was in the end, unfortunately, very unfunded. So I agree. The place is different. The point is just to say this is always about what you do over the medium to long term. And as those surpluses grow, mark my words, as they get a bit bigger, of course there'll be a chorus of sound for
as there should be
spending in certain areas,
down the
but
track.
there will also be tax as a potential issue.
All right, let's just talk police numbers quickly, because you're up against it now. I mean, obviously you're on the cusp of announcing a substantial increase in police, am I right?
Well, there'll certainly be announcements. It's not, I wouldn't say, if you say the cusp is this week, then the answer is no. But if you're saying in the future, yes.
Before the election?
Oh, before the election, yeah.
But okay, so the question is how many? Because you're under a bit of pressure. You've got Labor saying 1,000. They've guaranteed 1,000. New Zealand First are upping that, 1,800. Ballpark, where will you be?
Well, the simple answer is I don't know. And even if I did know, I wouldn't put a number on it this morning. But the real point here is I reckon they're in a bit
That's another way of saying even if I did know, I wouldn't tell you.
Correct. Yes, I can say that if you like, but I'm trying to let you down gently. It's Monday morning, I mean, come on, you've got a lot in front of you. The thing here is just if we just get into some crazy, it's a certain number and that makes it right, I reckon we're all missing the point here. Because the police changed the way they police with a thing called policing with excellence. And they did put more frontline police on. We added, 600 and we gave them effectively more through technology instead of Bobby having to go back and fill in all the forms, got technology. So my only point, and these are discussions Judith and I have been happening, and she's the strongest advocate for more police numbers.
She's intimated that you're on the cusp of announcing a large number.
Well, the main point that Judith and I have been discussing is how do you evolve the system so that people can look at it and say it's not just that the number is X or Y, but that maybe the way I feel in terms of safety and response to the issues that matter are increasing. And I think you can look at some of those things.
But you know that all of the studies have shown that you increase the number of frontline officers and instantly crime drops.
Yeah, interesting enough, actually, I met with there was a guy in town, he's a billionaire, but he has this software, and the software is about big data, and he was talking about how they'd use that software around policing numbers and around the data the police have to really change things. So all I'm saying to you is, if I say to you, here's X number of police, that doesn't mean much to you. But if I say to you, look, on Saturday night in the metropolitan areas, I'm going to make sure there's more police, so it's less likely your son will be attacked or less likely your daughter will be raped. There'll be someone there. Then you'll say, I think, actually, that's a really good use of that resource.
So it's smart policing.
Yeah.
But we still want more police on the beat, as you know.
And you'll get more police on the beat.
And you'll be making the announcement in about a month.
But there's just more to it than just one thing.
Okay, no, fair enough. About a month before you announce it? Just throw me a bone here. John, God, just give me one piece of information.
Okay, it's important to us. That's the piece of information.
All right, it's a priority. Yeah. Just very quickly, Helen Kelly, who passed away last Friday. And obviously we all had expectation that she was going to become a Labour Member of Parliament and probably become a high-ranking Labour Member of Parliament. Like you, I had quite a lot to do with her. I would imagine she would have been a stunning Member of Parliament, don't you think?
Yeah, look, anyone that goes into Parliament that has both the skills, so, they're articulate and they're intelligent, all those things, is in a good place, and secondly, amazingly passionate, and there's no question that Helen was like that. I mean, I actually had a really good relationship with Helen. I started dealing with her most when I was leading the opposition a little bit, but ultimately when I was Prime Minister, and over things like the Job Summit. And I always found, when she came to see me, which she did every 6 weeks or so, she'd sort of wander on, and look, she wouldn't change her position. If she didn't like what we were doing, she'd tell us. But she always did it in a way where it was friendly. And
the other nice thing is she could always appreciate the other